All right, I think I'm going to turn it back to Liz in just a minute, but the first thing that I want to say is Maya has had the honor and privilege of facilitating many of these breakout sessions. We have thoroughly enjoyed it. We understand how important this is. We have lots of tools for helping people have difficult conversations. And so I will make the offer that if there are other conversations that need to be had, please don't hesitate to ask. And now now that most people are sitting down, I'm going to turn it back to Liz.
Okay, so I'm not going to go through, all right, I don't want to use my teacher voice. Still a little bit loud in here. Does anyone need a timeout, or are we good? So I'm not going to read through every idea, although I will say cheers to you, because there's a lot of post-it vomiting happening, and that makes me really happy. I'm just going to read some of the ones that came up, and I will say what's really cool is that actually there were a number of common ideas across tables as we were just gathering, talking about things. Somebody would say, oh, there was this idea, and at least two other facilitators would say, yeah, I heard that one too. So the nice thing is that there's actually some coalescing of some things that can be done, which hopefully means that these things are not hard to get off the ground. So I don't know whether it's Pittsburgh or parties are just the thing to do, but there was a there was a lot of requests for some sort of neighborhood block party or dance party, with the idea that it wouldn't, so on the one hand that it could happen within a neighborhood, but that also that it could be a way to combine two neighborhoods and perhaps get one neighborhood to go over to the other neighborhood. Crossover neighborhood events in general was something that was talked about, and I think one group went so far as to brand it called Cross the Bridge. So here's an idea, anyone in the room who wants to run with it. There was a desire to have neighborhood ambassadors, so someone who might just self-identify as, you can come to me and ask me a question about the neighborhood, or if you're curious or trying to figure something out, I am open, I am here, I am willing to talk to you. There was one that seemed something that everyone would be able to do in this room, which is once a day or once a week, say hello to somebody that you don't know, which seemed like a really easy, low-hanging fruit thing to do. A neighborhood porch crawl. I'm not sure if there's drinks or food involved with that, but I imagine that would make it happier. Some sort of neighborhood storytelling event to talk about the history or the culture of a neighborhood. Some groups also talked about the idea of doing a Pittsburgh park campout, where different parks might be open for people to come and do a camping day. A neighborhood passport, and I think this was connected to the idea of how can we get people to patronize businesses in other neighborhoods or even within your own neighborhood to learn more about it, and so that there might be a passport stamp that you could get for visiting different things in the neighborhood. I think that was...
Well, and I'll throw one in that I thought was really just like you could do tonight. Something very simple, read a book written by someone of a different race.
And learn something different. Nice. So some of these ideas that we talked about are things that it would require a couple of people or a group to get together to do. And some of these are ideas that each of you in this room would be able to do. And part of what I love in the simplicity of them is, like I said, this is something that you could enact on Monday or tomorrow if you wanted to. And so I would love that when you leave here and just think about some of these ideas, and I think there's also going to be some way that some of this is being pulled together, P4 organizers, that they can be displayed, that I hope that a challenge that I would give to each of you is think about what could I do to make one of these ideas become a reality? Or is there somebody who was here at my table or that I ended up talking to that I could partner with to make it a reality? Or is there some way that I can leverage the organization or the company that I work for or the neighborhood association that I'm part of to be able to work on this? I talk a lot about this idea of low-hanging fruit. That sometimes the easiest way to move towards really complicated things is just to start small. But if a lot of us start doing these small things, it does add up to some type of big change. So rather than letting the bigness of what we're trying to accomplish here be daunting and keep us from action, we can start with these little actions that are all within all of your reaches to be able to do. And I'm sure within at least a collection of a grouping of you to be able to do. So I hope that you will take away from here some of these ideas. I hope you also take away just a little bit of what the experience has been to learn about some of the stories that people shared. I often say that when these stories are shared with us, it's like somebody just gave you a gift. And I hope that you will hold that preciously and use it to start to think about what you could do to start to build a Just Pittsburgh. So thank you for your attention and also for your enthusiastic participation.